Warning. You absolutely did not need me to tell you that Cattleya walkeriana is kind of weird. Look at that. It's growing through the mesh of the bench. It's blooming. Oh, we'll just cut it and pot it soon. Look at that. I also have it growing in a potted situation. They like it. And here on a net pot, starting to like it there. Again, in the traditional way, potted. I do make some extra holes in my pots for it. They're from a couple of different states in Brazil, and one of them is where my mother was born and raised. It didn't grow exactly where she lived. Where she lived, we had more of a Sophornitis cernua and Oncidium varicosum and a few other plants, but here, Cattleya walkeriana, this one is growing in nothing. Then I threw a couple pieces of medium in there. It likes it. It likes it so much it actually rooted through the vase onto the bench like it tends to do and grow in the air. You can see I put the back of a walkeriana in this net pot, and so you put the shoot out and you see the bulb, and it's gonna root there. It survives everything. It's a hardy plant. You can see it here rooting on this nice little piece of wood. Jongiana, right? Mountain too. Yeah, nice Olompali growing on a piece of root, kind of like beginning of the bark of a tree. It's taking on there. Another Olompali starting to become. Got two new shoots there. It's rooting. It's a tiny little piece of wood. Pretty cool. It's nice being able to repurpose wood. This branch here had to be cut after a pine tree fell across my driveway, and I had to cut the limbs of this tree to make it possible to remove the pine tree, and access and cut it off and remove it from my driveway. And here it is, little Miltonia growing on it. I start them with moss, but then I remove it. That's already a Olompali. You can see it's already rooted on this nice little piece of root that I treated before I used, but it looked nice. And the plant likes it. Eventually I'll remove the moss. Same thing with this Miltonia on this piece of cedar. This is a piece of a palm tree trunk. I planted some Miltonias in there, and they are brooding. Look at that. grown some nice pseudobulbs here while it's been established. Now that it has roots on it, it will proliferate, grow out. It look nice when it's all grown out. Look how this walkeriana has rooted here. It's pretty, the little roots. It's also been growing okay in moss. It's a division, and it's rooting in there, you can see, happily, you know. Such a versatile Cattleya. Here on a more Japanese / Brazilian style planting of Cattleya walkeriana, which is with a piece of wood growing 45 degrees. If you start earlier, it doesn't look like going up in the air like that, but it's grown in there and rooted in there, besides just a piece of wood in 45-degree angle. I just didn't want to put it in medium because I know it's unnecessary here. It does well as it is. Look at that. Wants to bloom, growing on medium that is not as coarse. It's probably recommended, but it's a tiny vase. It's growing outside of the pot, and it wants to bloom right here. I mean, let's think about this clearly. If it's growing in a situation that it can't stay wet very long because it dries, it's just a stick of wood, and that moss in a day or two is completely dry. When we put it in a pot with medium, it can grow in there too, but you have to offer the chance for it to be in this situation where the roots can get dry. Look at them here. It's fine. You can see it here. It's a plant that was somewhat dehydrated and the root hanging out there. It was warm still when I planted, so it suffered a little because it dried all of a sudden in the summer. But it put out this nice pseudobulb, and look how it's rooted in there, and it can live in that drier situation. It's like Cattleya walkeriana. This one here, this Cattleya walkeriana, I put it in there with no medium, and then after it was already rooting around the medium, around the vase, I put some medium in there. It looks happy, you know. Fat pseudobulbs, and you know, next time they'll bloom.